day everybody, welcome back or welcome to It's a Small Vlog, and today we are here for another construction video, and it's not going to be at the parks though. We are here at the Magic Kingdom Resort area and we're going to be doing a big construction video, and I'm starting at kind of a weird place. I think I vlogged here like once, and I think it was actually in my very first video, but I am here at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campgrounds, which is kind of out of the way. And to start off today's video, we have a massive construction site behind me, which I'm going to get to in just a moment. That's going to be the bulk of today's video. Other places that we're going to be headed to today after Fort Wilderness is going to be the Contemporary, specifically Bay Lake Tower, and of course we're going to be ending at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort because there's some stuff happening over there that we have to talk about. And as per usual with all these construction updates, timestamps will be located in the description below, so that way you can follow through nice and concisely throughout the video. You can fast forward, you can rewind. Again, they are always there for your convenience, so they will be in the description below. But again, like I said, we're going to be starting off today's video at Fort Wilderness Resort and Campgrounds because we have quite a bit of news that we have to talk about with this massive construction site right behind me. So today's video, the start of it with Fort Wilderness, it's going to be kind of long, so bear with me, but we have a lot of very interesting details to unpack here. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off today's lengthy construction video, we have something pretty big to discuss, as right next to Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campgrounds is what is currently a massive construction site for what is rumored to be the revival of a formerly canceled project for a brand new Disney resort. As you can probably already tell, we have a lot to discuss here regarding this project, so buckle up as we begin to take a look into the complex history of this construction site.
Straight to river country. Me too. Let's go.
River country, big river country. It's a hoot, it's a holler, it's a water jamboree. River country, big river country. If you're hot around the collar, it's a cool place to be.
Our story begins back in 2018 when rumors started floating around that something new was under consideration to be built on the former River Country plot of land located east of Fort Wilderness. River Country was Walt Disney World's original water park that operated for 25 years from 1976 to 2001. Exact reasons for its closure still remain unknown to this day, but more details on that is for another time in another video. In short, Disney never actually demolished River Country when it closed, and instead left it completely abandoned for almost 2 decades. That was until October of 2018 when Disney announced that they would be building a brand new Disney Vacation Club resort called Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge. According to official concept art released by Disney, the resort was to take on a more modern aesthetic to the nature theme that the adjacent Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge take on, fused with some Disney intellectual properties as well, including Bambi, Brother Bear, The Fox and the Hound, The Princess and the Frog, and Pocahontas. Featuring over 900 hotel rooms, the project was originally slated to open in 2022, and work did in fact get underway starting in February of 2019. Work was moving along quite nicely, but that was until the events of March of 2020 happened, when work was halted on the project indefinitely. It wasn't long until the construction site became yet another abandoned entity, and many believe the project had been officially shelved after work continued to remain dormant. Fast forward to April of this year, and a slew of public permits began to get filed that were associated with what was thought to be the deceased project, signs of life, if you will. One of the permits indicated an extension for an area associated with the Reflections project near the former stall port, which means short takeoff and landing, and according to permits, would be used as a construction staging area directly related to the project. Another permit that was extended was the planned footprint for the resort as seen here, and thanks to some helpful color coding from Blog Mickey, we can see just how big this resort is set to be. To break it down, the green building to the right is what is currently Pioneer Hall, where the Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review takes place, and the smaller buildings along the water in blue are supposed to be lakefront cabins, similar to the Copper Creek cabins at Wilderness Lodge. And then, of course, the giant building in red is the main Reflections Hotel. Because the area of this resort is so incredibly massive, it will essentially act as a link between Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge, as it helps conjoin the two rustic resorts together. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg, as there are a multitude of other permits that have recently gotten filed and extended by Walt Disney Imagineering specifically, and they all are directly correlated with Reflections. What's even more interesting is that each permit has a set expiration date of March of 2027. Now, again, all this information that's been gathered so far still remains unconfirmed by Disney. Just because the permits have an expiration date of March of 2027 doesn't necessarily mean that's when the project will be completed, but it's certainly a possibility. Land has already been cleared and work is actively happening on the site, despite no official confirmation from Disney. And this is kind of strange behavior from Disney because they're usually not very secretive about projects like this, even though the writing is on the wall. We can see that the permits have been filed, work is actively taking place on the site, and dirt is moving. So Disney really can't keep this a secret for much longer. Now, sure, it's another possibility that Disney may have changed the concept of the resort in the time that the project was on hold, but that seems unlikely considering the amount of concept art Disney released to the public. Beyond just the main facade of the resort itself, early concept art was released for the lobby, the rooms, and even the lakefront cabins. With all of this in mind, and even without the confirmation from Disney, everything adds up to the not-so-subtle revival of this project. Okay, so now with that brief history lesson out of the way, now that we've talked about all the history behind this crazy project and really what's been going on for the past few years, let's talk about what we can actively see happening currently on the construction site, because there's quite a lot to talk about here. Taking a look at what's happening on site for the project, there's lots of different things happening that I'm going to try to cover from multiple different points of view. For starters, work is happening kind of all over the place, with fresh dirt and construction equipment moving around the site as crews prep to install infrastructure. Additionally, a giant crane or two was also recently situated at the site and is actively working alongside the rest of the construction crew. It looks like on top of the preparation for infrastructure, crews are also beginning work on setting the foundation of the east side of the hotel as seen here. In these upper shots I got from the roof of the Contemporary, you can really get a great vantage point of everything going on. It's also important to note that this low white roofed building towards the back is what is currently the Tri-Circle D Ranch at Fort Wilderness and is not part of the Reflections project. To get an even better view of the construction site, the following photographs were captured by the very helpful BioReconstruct, and thanks to these amazing aerial shots, it really helps us understand the layout of all the work being done here. These photos were taken a few weeks ago and also give us a glimpse into the construction staging area for this project. Like I said earlier, the staging area for Reflections is being held at the former Stallport, where a back road helps connect the main construction site and the staging area. Heading back to the main site, we can compare this color-coded aerial image to the same one from earlier that was present in one of Disney's permits. Again, compliments to Blog Mickey for the visual updates. What's especially interesting is that you can clearly see the red outline in this image is almost exactly the same layout as the image from the permit. Essentially, comparing these two images together is about the closest thing we can get from an official confirmation that is truly the revival of Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge. And to be completely honest, this actually makes a lot of sense. A project this big in size and scope requires many years of planning, and it's pretty clear that Disney has already invested significant amounts of money into this project, even when it was put on hold. We saw this when looking at the proposed conceptual art, and it looks like the same investment can be said when it comes to all the visual construction work. If you watched my last video, I mentioned towards the end that Disney's new fiscal year started on October 1st, and brand new waves of investment are starting to get plugged into the many project planned for Walt Disney World, and it's safe to say that this is clearly one of them. But anyway, that's the latest happening here along the shores of Bay Lake, and until we hear official confirmation from Disney regarding this project, you can expect plenty more updates coming your way right here on the channel very, very soon. Thanks for sticking with me so far for this very lengthy update, and now, without further ado, let's head on over to our next Disney resort. Okay, everybody, we have officially made it to our next resort, Disney's Contemporary Resort, and what we have to talk about today actually doesn't have to do with the Contemporary itself, but instead has to do with the DVC portion of the resort, with that being Bay Lake Tower. So back in September, it was quietly announced that Bay Lake Tower, the Disney Vacation Club wing of Disney's Contemporary Resort, would be undergoing a year-long refurbishment. More specifically, Disney stated that extensive room refurbishments throughout the tower would be taking place over the course of an entire year from September 2024 through September 2025. And now, as we can see, work is well underway. Now, other than the statement released by Disney regarding the expected time frame for this refurb, no other confirmed details have been shared at this time. However, it is expected that these room refurbishments will be more extensive than usual, as it is most likely that the hotel rooms will be gutted and rebuilt from the inside, which is a first for this tower. For those that don't know, Bay Lake Tower was not actually part of the original Contemporary Resort, as the addition was added 15 years ago back in 2009, so it makes sense that a lengthy refurbishment to the tower is well overdue. As for visual observations, the first thing you'll notice is the large crane staged on the north side of the main A-frame, which will be utilized throughout the majority of this project. If we look closely at the tower itself, you can see that a good chunk of rooms are already under construction on the tower's south side, which is indicated by large black tarps covering up the balcony windows. Looking into the parking lot, you'll also notice that a good chunk of the lot is blocked off, as crews utilize the space to store what looks like a number of shipping containers. Now, during extensive resort refurbishments like this, these large portable units will typically hold the materials needed for the project and act as a construction staging area. As for what materials, though, it could be anything from tools to supplies to even pieces of wood. But another possible use for them could be for housing new pieces of furniture for the updated rooms. In fact, this is a very real possibility, as you can see a large section of old furniture and appliances getting piled up in the blocked off section of the parking lot. Now, it's unclear if these new rooms will take on the same design influences from the recently updated rooms in the Contemporary A-frame, but it's certainly a possibility. As a quick refresher, a few years ago, back in 2021, the hotel rooms in the main A-frame building received an intellectual property update themed to Disney and Pixar's The Incredibles, so it's possible that Bay Lake Tower might follow through on this as well. Personally, I'm not really the biggest fan of these IP-themed hotel rooms, so I'm hoping the refurbishment to Bay Lake Tower stays clear of that, but it looks like only time will tell. And once again, this refurbishment will be lasting now through September of 2025 here at Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort. So if you want to keep track of all the latest going on, be sure to subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on so you never miss any updates. Alright everybody, well, we have officially made it here to our final stop, Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, my personal favorite Disney resort. And before I talk about what's going on with the Island Tower on the other side of the resort, on this side, along the waterfront, you may notice that some of the Bora Bora bungalows actually have some scaffolding on them. Well, the ones that do, they are currently undergoing some exterior work. Some of them are getting repainted. Others are actually already completed. So the ones that have some scaffolding on them, they're just getting a nice refreshed paint job. And the same thing can also be said for various other buildings around the resort as well. Some of the roofs are getting repainted, the exterior of all of them. Some of the other buildings actually recently had some damage from some of the recent hurricanes that hit Central Florida. So there's also maintenance going on over there as well. So I just wanted to touch up upon that really quick. So if you notice some scaffolding going on at around various other parts of the resort, such as the Bora Bora bungalows and some of the other buildings that house the hotel rooms, just to let you know, it's just exterior work. They're getting repainted. The roofs are getting repaired, things of that nature, which of course is great to see. As we take a look at what is currently the construction site for the DVC Island Tower here at the Polynesian, Final preparations and finishing touches are starting to be made all throughout the exterior as the project nears its completion. As a quick reminder, the Island Tower is scheduled to officially open its doors on Tuesday, December 17th of this year. With that opening date getting closer and closer, I should mention that this will actually be my final video covering the construction of the tower. I've been covering its construction ever since work began in the summer of 2022, and it's crazy to think that in just one short month, it won't be a construction site any longer. Anyway, the main things I want to focus on visually is the work happening in the future pool area. In the past month, we've seen some pretty significant milestones take place in this area particularly, so much so that the area is virtually complete. The pool has been filled, fencing has been installed, and large patches of landscaping have popped up all over the place. What's arguably the most exciting part of this pool area is the splash pad area playground that is themed to Moana. You'll notice in the distance that you can spot Moana's boat, accompanied by Moana herself, as it acts as the main centerpiece of this play area, and it looks great. Now, really quick, I just want to interrupt really quick. Another thing that's really interesting about this Island Tower project is as it nears its completion, I can't help but notice that a lot of the concrete along the current walkways has actually been completely ripped up. And this is something that we've been seeing for a while now, but it seems like as it nears its completion, a lot of this is more prevalent than ever. You'll notice that right at the base of the construction, away from the pool area, there's a ton of concrete that's ripped up. Again, they're going to be replacing it. There's some right out here, right outside of the Fiji building, in between Fiji and the Great Ceremonial House. But then there's also a lot of concrete paths that were ripped up that have now been replaced. Right next to the, I'm going to butcher this name, but right next to the Autorada building, there's completely brand new pathways right there. A few months ago, they were completely ripped up, and now they are back to normal. They're brand new. Disney has replaced them. So it looks like the same thing is going to be happening here right along the water. But I just thought that was an interesting development. I wasn't actually expecting there to be so much concrete that they're planning on replacing, but they're replacing it, so that's good news. Taking a look at the rest of the tower, painting has officially wrapped up on the exterior, and I have to say, I think the completed color scheme the tower has now looks pretty good. I'm not sure about you, but I feel like the initial concept art that we got made the tower look a lot more muted in color variation as compared to it in person. I don't think this video does the exterior color scheme enough justice either, but I'm pleasantly surprised with how much more bright and warm everything looks in person, better matching the aesthetic of the rest of the hotel. But aside from the paint, other noteworthy observations include some exterior greenery being installed, tiki-style light fixtures towards the top of the tower, a mixture of brown and glass railings on the balconies, and new exterior theming near the lobby and outside by the pool bar. If we shift our focus to the south side of the tower, a new mural is taking shape on the exterior wall, with a large sea turtle drawing most of the attention. A mural similar to this one is also in progress on the north side of the tower too, and I think it adds some much needed character to the structure. Finally, Disney recently shared with us some final details regarding some of the unique amenities that will call the Island Tower home. So we'll start with dining. The main restaurant in the tower will be called the Walulu Bar and Grill. For a visual reference, this will be a massive indoor quick service restaurant that will also include the outdoor pool bar. Disney shared one piece of concept art as well and described the new dining option as, quote, evoking the natural beauty of the islands, from banquet seating surrounded by flowing water to a lava rock inspired bar overlooking the Seven Seas Lagoon. Guests can take in breathtaking views of Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom while enjoying an on-the-go breakfast or a delicious all-day lunch and dinner menu, end quote. In addition to this new dining area, Disney also provided us with a first look of the new terrace gardens in the tower. I know a lot of people have been wondering why these two big square-shaped holes are present in the building, and that's because what you're looking at are these terrace gardens. If you take a closer look, you'll notice that both of them look virtually complete. The mural directly matches what can be seen in this new piece of concept art Disney shared, and essentially the purpose of these terraces is to give guests a designated space besides their balcony balcony to enjoy scenic views of the Seven Seas Lagoon and watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks in the evening. So no doubt these will be some pretty popular spots. But other than that, I think I've covered just about everything going on as final preparations are underway here at the construction site. You can definitely be on the lookout for a vlog coming your way next month when the Island Tower officially opens to guests at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort on December 17th, 2024. Well, everybody, that is going to wrap up this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this big construction video here at the Magic Kingdom Resort area. And once again, if you did not go watch my previous video where it was another construction update at all 4 parks, I will be sure to link that in the card in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So be sure to check that out. And if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, turn those notifications on. Check me out on Instagram as well. The link is down below. And I have to ask, what about you? How do you feel about the Polynesian Tower as it nears its completion? I will say be on the lookout for a video coming in December when the tower is officially open. I will be sure to go check it out and explore it for you guys and offer my final thoughts on it, you know, once we have the finished product in just over a month, which is pretty darn crazy. And also, how do you guys feel about everything going on nearby Fort Wilderness with, obviously, it is the revival of the Reflections project, again, until we have further confirmation from Disney. In all actuality, all we can really do is speculate, but I mean, come on, that's pretty much what's going on over there. So it's very interesting, everything that's happening over here in the Magic Kingdom Resort area. And once again, if you enjoyed, please subscribe. I cannot emphasize that enough. At the time of recording this, we are less than 10 subscribers away from 1,000. So we are so close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you can please hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on, that would be extremely helpful and beneficial. It would mean the world to me. So thank you again so much in advance for that. But my name is Bobby. This has been It's a Small Vlog, your Magic Kingdom Resort construction update here in the month of November. And with all that out of the way, have a magical day, everybody. Bye.